Let me tell you, my little dumb kid brain was not prepared for the absolute mind that is The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Even though this video is astray from most of my normal content with the music related stuff, I hope you still stick with me and hear me talk about one of my favorite games of all time. In my opinion, this is the best game in the series and also just one of the best games ever made. It has an amazing story, deep characters, fun gameplay, cool art direction, and amazing music. Today we're going to just talk about the game. We're going to go through kind of all of these things and talk about why each of these things make said thing great and why I love this game so much and it's so good and beautiful for me, in my opinion. And if you disagree with me, you can write about it in the comments. And hey, while you're down there, maybe hit the subscribe button and a like. It really does help out. There's a reason why YouTubers ask that so much. Grab some popcorn, maybe a drink, get cozy, because this is gonna be a long one.
Nothing can withstand its power.
Hi there, my name is Domizos. Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, I hope you enjoy your stay. I originally wanted to make this video back all the way in like 2022, but because of me having the memory of a goldfish, I completely forgot about it until Adam and Levi brought up the fact that that video was supposed to be made a while ago, and that they were looking forward to it. So I was like, hey, I think I have like the old skeleton of the script written somewhere here, so let me find it. And I found it, and I added some parts, took away some things, blah. And here's the video. So gather around, boys and girls. Let Papa Dama tell you a story. I've been a fan of the Zelda series ever since I was a little kid, but I never really played them when I was like a really young jit, you know? I would only really watch people like play them on YouTube and stuff like that. Shout out to Game Grumps. Game Grumps were my fucking goats. But I never really fully beat a Zelda game until 2017's Breath of the Wild. And also Twilight Princess on my cousin's Wii, which I never got to finish because I was only playing at his house and we kind of just like stopped playing it. But one day, a really good friend of mine who has also appeared on the channel a couple times, Adam, told me that I should play Majora's Mask. This right here is my original copy of Majora's Mask that I got when I was like 14 and bought it for like 40 bucks on GameStop's website. However, did I play the game on the N64? No. First of all, the expansion pack, if you can even find it, is like $50 to like $100. That. No, I'm not playing around like that. And second of all, have you seen the N64 controller? That thing is disgusting. I hate holding that thing. It's uncomfortable. It's stupid. What the were they thinking when making that? Instead, I ended up dusting off my Wii U and buying it on the Virtual Console when the eShop was around at that point. Rest in peace to eShop. You will be forever missed. And for those of you who say, oh, if you're not playing it on the original system, then you're not really playing it at all. You're only getting the full experience. Shut the f up. Shut the f up. It works the same. I don't care. And I played the same game that you did. So, suck my nuts, okay? Suck my nuts, big guy. Also, all of my footage for the game got corrupted. I was going to use my own gameplay, but even if it didn't get corrupted, that footage was from like years ago, and it's definitely, most likely, it would have been gone way before now. And so, yeah, just letting you know, I'm going to be using this person's stuff. So, thank you. The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask was released in April 27th of 2000 in Japan, October 26th, 2000 in America, and November 17th, 2000 in Europe. The game was following the success of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and Nintendo was facing the challenge of making a worthy successor. Ocarina of Time was a groundbreaking game at the time, with 3D visuals, its music, its story, its everything, its gameplay. I think I said gameplay already, but it's gameplay. It really did set a new standards for 3D action adventure games. A lot of those type of games you see today take inspiration from Ocarina of Time. And even to this day, it's rated #1 on Metacritic as the best video game of all time. Shigeru Miyamoto, the series creator, assigned Eiji Aonuma, a rising star at Nintendo, to direct the next project. The original plan was to release an enhanced version of Ocarina of Time with remixed dungeons and stuff like that, and I believe it was called Zelda Ura. However, the Nintendo 64 disc drive failed horribly commercially, and it was not even released in the United States, I don't think. So the project pivoted into just becoming a completely new game, and that ended up being Majora's Mask. While not as commercially successful as Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask was critically acclaimed for its darker tone, beautiful storytelling, and unique mechanics resonated with players. While Ocarina of Time was extremely influential to gaming as a whole, I truly believe that Majora's Mask is the overall better game. I don't think that's a hot take, and if it is, again, fight me in the comments. It took from Ocarina of Time and just built up and up and up and up and up until the game was just perfect and beautiful. And the game isn't actually perfect, but it's so damn close to it that it might as well be. As a lot of you may know, Majora's Mask's development was super fast. And that really wasn't a good thing because there was a lot of crunch and they reused a lot of assets, but the game was made in only 1 year. I think exactly 13 months, if I'm not mistaken. And this time limit that Nintendo gave to the developers saying, make this game in 13 months, made them have to think outside the box on how to make this game better than Ocarina of Time. This decision allowed them to focus their efforts on crafting a unique narrative and gameplay experience. The game's writer and co-director proposed a story centered around a 3-day time cycle, inspired by his interest in time and its manipulation. This became the foundation of the game, and they started building from there. I want to take a quick detour and talk about the gameplay real quick. The mask mechanic in the game is one of the most engaging and fun features about the game. Each mask has a unique function, with the transformation masks really standing out as the real game changers of the whole thing. The Deku mask allows you to shoot bubbles out your mouth and also skip across water. The Goron mask turns him into fucking Sonic the Hedgehog, but bolder. And the Zora mask makes him a fast and agile swimmer. And to be honest, it's my favorite mask in the game because it's so fun just swimming around as a fucking fish. I hate water levels in games. And this one's a bit, this whole area is basically a water level. Great Bay is a central water level. And it's so fun to just swim around as a Zora. It's cool. It's awesome. It's beautiful. But I heard they f***ed it up in the remake, and that makes me really sad, and that's why I'll never play the remake. So beyond the main transformative masks, the smaller utility masks add an extra layer of charm and fun to the game. The bunny hood, for example, speeds up Link's movement. The stone mask makes sneaking past enemies a breeze. And collecting these masks encourage exploration. And to be honest, they're so fun to get. I never 100% video games. I can probably count the amount of games that I've 100%ed on one hand, because the only time that I 100% game are when the 100%ing tasks are fun. And in this case, they're fun. And you get this crazy cool payoff of having the fucking fierce deity mask where it turns you into a fucking crazy warrior god. It's badass, but it kind of ruins the final boss because it makes the final boss way too fucking dummy easy. Did I still use it? Yeah. Am I a bitch? Yeah. Do I care? No. Overall, the mask mechanic is the perfect example of how Majora's Mask blends creativity with gameplay, making for an absolutely entertaining experience. Now, with that being said, let's talk about my personal favorite part of the game, that being the story. I will now try to quickly go over the plot of Majora's Mask really fast. Majora's Mask begins after Ocarina of Time. Link, now a child again, leaves Hyrule in search of his friend, Navi, the annoying-ass fairy, and he's ambushed by, the Skull Kid. And Skull Kid's like, hey, that's a nice horse. What size is it? And Link's like, size? Large, I guess? I don't know. It's a horse. And then Skull Kid's like, nah, it's my size. And then kicks him off and then steals Epona, and then also steals his ocarina, is like, oh, shit, man, I'll take this too, thanks. And then he goes, there's a cat. Oh, please don't knock over the lighting. I'm begging you, please don't. Link gives chase, and then he falls down this fucking tree hole thing, and it's all trippy and shit. It's like, what the f*** did I take? And then we wake up, and we're questioning, what the f*** did Zelda put in our drink last night to make us feel like this? Skull Kid uses the power of Majora's Mask to transform Link into a Deku Scrub. Oh no, what the f*** is he gonna do? He runs off, but fucking one of the fairies, Tattle, or whatever her name is like bullying you, and then she gets locked in, and then you try to get out, she opens the door, and then we can't find Skull Kid, and she's like, okay, I'll help you out until we find Skull Kid, blah, blah, blah. And then we go, holy shit, And then we go to through the Clocktown, and then we see the masked salesman, and he goes, "You've seen a terrible fate." He's like, "If you get me your the mask, I will bring." Oh, look, it's Mario. It's Mario. If you go get my mask back in your ocarina, I'll show you how to turn back. And so then we go out the town, and you got 3 days before the thing in the sky, the moon, it's gonna crash down and kill everybody. Yeah, that kind of sucks. But we'll work towards that. So the 3-day cycle goes on. We do a bunch of tasks, blah, blah, blah. We experience racism and all types of shit. And then we come, and then we go back to the clock tower. We fight Skull Kid, and then we shoot snot bubbles at him, and he drops the ocarina. We have a flashback of what the Zelda put in our drink. she puts salvia in the drink, and then she also tells us a song. But yeah, we go back in time. Blah blah blah. We have the ocarina now. The guy shows us the Song of Healing, and that song is really good, and I like it. And if you play it backwards, it's the Lostwood Village, I believe. It's kind of cool. It's a cool little fun fact. And then he's like, "Oh, you didn't get my fucking mask." And then we find out that we have 3 days to get the mask back before the moon crashes, and we have to explore these 4 areas because her brother said something earlier about it. And we go to the 4 areas, and then to like get the 4 gods or whatever, the armed creatures and shit, to like stop the moon from falling, blah blah blah. And yeah, so that's the plot of Majora's Mask. The story not only tackles the horrifying concept of death, but also goes 8 steps further and explores the topics of loss, how people deal with loss, and how people face the dread of the existential crisis that they all share, an impending doom. And the game makes sure you know it. I want to take a second to have a closer look at our antagonist, Skull Kid. His backstory reveals to us that he was close friends with the 4 giants. However, the mischievous nature caused the giants to eventually leave him behind when they took up their roles as guardians of Termina's region. Feeling abandoned and betrayed, the Skull Kid became bitter and resentful. Despite his mischievous and villainous behavior, Skull Kid is not entirely without heart. He ends up befriending 2 fairies, the ones we said in the beginning, Tattle and Tail, who stay by his side as his companions. However, even this relationship is strained by the mask's influence, as actions go from harmless pranks to mass murder. Skull Kid is my favorite villain in the entire Zelda series, and it's not even close. He's not some dark lord or crazy wizard or whatever. He's just a kid that is having his thoughts and feelings manipulated by the mask. It allows the players to forgive him at the end of the game, because at the end of the day, he was just a kid feeling the same thing everyone else was feeling before anyone was feeling it. And that was fear. Not to mention, this motherfucker is constantly posted the up. Yes, we see the fit Skull Kid, and it's fucking fire. Skull Kid's character design is amazing. It perfectly captures his mischievous yet tragic nature. His scrappy, childlike appearance with a patchwork outfit of earthy greens, yellows, and oranges evokes a connection with nature while highlighting his playful yet chaotic personality. These warm, organic colors contrast sharply with the vibrant, unnerving hues of Majora's Mask, whose bold reds, purples, and yellows radiate something menacing and powerful. His glowing, unblinking yellow eyes add an unsettling and otherworldly effect, emphasizing his transformation from a lonely prankster to a corrupted pawn. One of the most striking things to me about Majora's Mask is its focus on time and morality. Unlike Ocarina of Time, where time serves as a way of like linear plot progression and a little bit of exploration, Majora's Mask just goes full speed ahead, where it does do those same things, but also builds upon it. And it uses time as the central narrative device. The game's 3-day cycle forces urgency into the player and the sense of impending doom. They force players to confront a harsh reality. Time's running out. In Termina, you have 5 areas that you can explore. Clocktown, the main hub area where you can access, the 4 areas, is also having its cute little, its own little things going on that we'll talk about in just a minute. Woodfall, the home of the Dekus, Snowhead, the home of the Gorons, Great Bay, the home of the Zora, and Ikana Canyon, the home of the dead. And on top of your own impending doom, you gotta worry about all the other fucking jits all around, so you gotta see what you can do. Can you save them? And the game makes sure you know that, with an emotional layer that Nintendo just fucking pulls over your head and just starts going, shh, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay, knowing that it's not gonna be okay. Each region explores a facet of loss and how individuals and communities respond to it. Through Link's actions, he restores balance, resolves lingering regrets, and brings healing to Termina's people. Sometimes he's successful, and sometimes he's not. Each of the characters in the game are so real. Each NPC has their own thoughts, emotions, and whether they show it or not, they all share the same fear that their time is coming soon. This is the first ever Zelda game to make me cry, and this is the first ever game to make me cry twice during 2 separate times in a playthrough. And one of these moments is a fucking side quest, and I'll talk about that later, but for those of you who played the game, you know which side quest I'm talking about. However, the fact that a game from 2000 during the Nintendo 64 era can make me feel this way about a side quest, and a game from like 2020, when did Tears of the Kingdom release? Like 2023, 2022? Couldn't even do that for me? That's fucking bonkers, man. That blows my mind. That blows my mind. So let's go through these 5 areas and talk about what makes each of them so great. The starting area of the game, Clocktown, has such a rich sense of life and detail. Acting as a central hub for Termina and your starting grounds, the town is absolutely booming with activity, which each NPC following their own unique schedule throughout the 3-day cycle. Whether it's the innkeeper Anju preparing for her wedding, the bomb shop owner attending to his inventory, or the postman obsessively sticking to his route, every character has a purpose in this story. And that's absolutely crazy for a video game. The 3-day cycle also plays a role of what makes Clocktown so great. As time progresses in the game, the atmosphere of the town switches, reflecting the growing sense of dread as the moon looms closer. On the first day, the town feels vibrant and optimistic. By the second day, cracks begin to show. Nervous glances, subtle changes in dialogue, and an air of unease. And by the final day, panic fully sets in, with many residents fleeing while others desperately cling on to hope. This progression creates such a palpable tension, drawing the player into the town's fate and making each of their actions feel so significant. Also, the main theme of Clocktown is really cute. I really like it. It's one of my favorite tracks in the game, and I don't know, it's a cute little theme. Now, it's on to the first real major area of the game, Woodfall. The themes of Woodfall center on the themes of corruption, misunderstanding, and the healing of nature and relationships. The swamp is plagued by a poisonous fog, a physical manifestation of unrest and disharmony caused by the desecration of the Woodfall temple and the kidnapping of the Deku princess. This corruption even expands into the social dynamics of the Deku people, whose mistrust and anger only fuel their suffering. The music in Woodfall even amplifies these themes, creating an uneasy atmosphere. You know how this channel focuses on music. I can assure you that this game has some absolutely amazing music. This track in specific incorporates tribal percussions and eerie woodwind elements, mirroring the swamp's natural yet corrupted state. The Deku King embodies the destructive power of misunderstanding. In his grief and desperation over his daughter's disappearance, he lashes out at this innocent fucking monkey who's so fucking adorable. And I fucking love him. I love this guy. Let him go, man. He didn't do nothing. Let him go. This reflects the game's themes, showing how fear and sorrow can cloud judgment, leading to further harm rather than finding an actual solution. Link's journey to cleanse the temple and to also save the princess is not only a quest to heal the land, but to also restore balance within the Deku community. The Woodfall Temple itself is also an extremely fun dungeon. The setting is very atmospheric, like the swamp is very cool. However, for me, I found the temple a little too linear and a little too easy. It wasn't anything that made the game less fun, but it's more so of me just doing a little nitpicking thing to not 100% glaze the game, you know, just to throw that in there. It was a little too easy, but then again, it was at the beginning of the game, which is fine. The dungeon's music is also not surprisingly great, and the sound design does a great job of setting an uneasy, unsettling tone. Even the boss fight, Owalda, or whatever you pronounce his name, was a little easy, which is, again, it's fine. But overall, the dungeon was still an enjoyable experience. Woodfall's story and theme highlights the interconnectedness. When the temple is purified, the swamp's poison dissipates. The Deku Princess' forgiveness of her father and her plea to spare the monkey further emphasizes the importance of understanding. And with that being said, we are done with Woodfall, and we can move on to the next area, Snowhead. The second area in the game is Snowhead, a frozen and desolate area. This unnatural cold threatens the survival of the Goron. They are unable to get to their food and face extinction if this blizzard doesn't calm down. The story and themes of Snowhead focus on grief, perseverance, and the courage to carry on in the face of despair. At the heart of the region's turmoil is the loss of Darmani, a Goron who died protecting his people, attempting to end the winter that was harming his community. His death leaves Gorons without hope. They're paralyzed by mourning and they're unable to take action. The music in Snowhead complements the atmosphere very, very, very well. The region's theme is cold and haunting. Soft chimes and low, mournful tones are used to show the harshness of this environment and the weight of the grief that holds over the Goron tribe. It creates a somber ambience, drawing players into the true depth of the Goron's struggles. As you progress through the area, the music subtly shifts, with hints of hope and resolution, reflecting the potential for renewal and warmth. Darmani's death shows us a depressing side of Snowhead. His spirit lingers on in regret because he believes that he failed his people. The Goron Elder, who is their leader, is also absent, frozen in ice as the younger Gorons, including his infant son, struggle to cope with this immense crisis. The Goron tribe's suffering is compounded by the resilience of their heroes and leaders, but they're no longer here to guide them. This situation creates a metaphor for the paralyzing sense of grief that they are feeling, where loss and despair prevent individuals and communities from acting to resolve their struggles. The Snowhead Temple is a cold and harsh environment. The temple itself is a bit challenging and also very rewarding as well, not from the stuff that you get, but also just the way that you play through it. By using the Goron mask, you get to roll around at high fucking speeds, which is so fucking fun to use. You feel like I said before, like a rock fucking Sonic the Hedgehog. It's like, you see that rock over there? You see that rock over there? Bam! Gone. Gone, no rock. Oh, I need to go somewhere really far. Oh, hold on real quick. Let me pull out my Sonic the Hedgehog mask and just fucking roll on over there. Shit, and there in 2 seconds. Fuck you. The puzzles and combat in Snowhead Temple also keep things interesting. The dungeon requires creative thinking with the Goron mask, making use of its ability to solve puzzles. Additionally, the boss, Goat, I believe his name was, fucking LeBron, what? Well, he was not really that hard. It was a lot of fun to play. It was a very unique boss, and I had fun with it. And when Link finally defeats the boss, spring is restored to the region. The melting ice and thawing snow symbolizes the emotional and physical paralysis that the Gorons were under. The Goron Elder has been thawed, and the entire Goron community feels a sense of hope again. And it's wonderful. It's beautiful. With the region restored and the Gorons thriving once again, it's time to head on to the third area, Great Bay. The Great Bay area is the third area in the game and by far my favorite, because here is the first time where the game made me cry. It creates a very emotional narrative centered on, loss, but also responsibility. The vast water in Great Bay usually symbolizes life and freedom, but now it's become corrupted and frankly a depressing place. Its waters are tainted and the Zora tribe faces an internal strife. A singer for a very popular band in the Zora tribe, Lulu, has had her eggs stolen from her, and with that she falls into a very deep depression. At the heart of this turmoil is the death of Maku? I don't know how to pronounce his name. Miku? I'm just gonna call him Miku. I call his name Miku, a Zora guitarist who sacrificed his life to try and rescue the eggs. The Great Bay explores how individuals and communities react to loss and the possibility of healing. His death was absolutely heartbreaking because you can't turn back time on this one. It's already too late. Seeing him walk off into the pitch black void with his partner was beautiful. Lulu's grief manifests as silence. She's rendered mute by the emotional weight of this situation, and that's not good because she's a singer. Her sorrow also disrupts the Zora band, which reflects the greater disarray of the community. When Link arrives, we watch as Miku's spirit leaves this world, and we get the mask in return. We go get Lulu's eggs back, and we come back, and she feels better. Link not only honors Miku's memory, but also restores Lulu's spirit, helping her heal, which in turn allows her to start singing again and feel better. This demonstration of the theme of healing through action shows that the progress of emotional renewal are possible, even for those who have suffered an immense loss. The Zora Temple is great. It's a great dungeon. It's fun. It's amazing. It's got some unique gameplay mechanics, and using the Zora fish to do puzzles is really cool. The puzzles are intriguing. This was the first dungeon that really gave me a struggle in its puzzles. Now, we need to talk about that fucking fish, okay? The boss fight against that big-ass fucking fish with the fucking thing going on around, yeah, fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. Like I said, the dungeon itself was relatively difficult, but I beat it in a normal time. It took me 2 months to beat that goddamn fish. And even then, I didn't beat it. Adam beat it for me, because I don't know if I'm just bad at video games or if this is just a me problem, but holy fuck, I don't care. Fuck that fish. Fuck that fish. Fuck this dungeon. I'm out, boys. We're going to Ikana Valley. Ikana Canyon, whatever the fuck it's called. Let's go. Ikana Canyon is the fourth and final region of Majora's Mask. It serves as sort of the narrative's climax for the game's explorations of morality, spiritual unrest, and the possibility of redemption. Here's where we really full front and center see Majora's Mask theme, and that's death. The desolate land plagued by ghosts symbolizes the absolute destructive power of holding on to grudges and the inability to accept death itself. This area explores themes of letting go, breaking cycles of violence, and finding peace in the inevitable cycle of life and death. And the music helps with that quite a bit as well. The music in Ikana Canyon is masterfully composed. It conveys a sense of foreboding and sorrow, perfectly aligning with the area's eerie atmosphere. This music really just amplifies the feelings of decay, abandonment, and the relentless passage of time. As Link dives deeper into the canyon's secrets and uncovers its stories of regret, the music subtly evolves. It gradually introduces more intense layers to make you feel more uneasy. Yet as the music becomes more intense, it still maintains that mournful sound that's in it. There's a really good video by Save Data that I'm going to link in the description that you should totally watch after this, because he talks about some great points and goes into very further detail about why Ikana Valley, and specifically like the dungeon in Ikana, it's like melodies are just so, they're melodies, but like soundtrack tracks, is just so great. Ikana Canyon is a kingdom that is in ruins, haunted by the memories of war and betrayal. The spirits of the fallen, including those of soldiers, citizens, and even royalty, remain trapped in the world of the living. And real quick before I continue on, I need to talk about this thing right here. Holy this genuinely made me sick when I first saw it, and it scared the out of me. I just needed to put that out there, just let you know. Christ. The king, like the land that he rules, clings on to the past, fueled by his pride and his fixation on vengeance. But this fixation on past glories has left this region barren. The cursed state of Ikana is not just the physical manifestation of its residents' unresolved issues, it's also a metaphor for the dangers of feeding into the cycle of violence and resentment. The ghostly soldiers around the area keep trying to reenact their battles, bound to their loyalty to a very much dead cause. This endless repetition mirrors the idea that refusing to accept and come to terms with loss only leads to stagnation. Link's role is not to just only defeat the foes in the area, but it's to break the cycle and help the inhabitants find peace. Link purges the last little bit of the curse that was left and frees Ikana Valley, giving it a nice, beautiful, peaceful end. In the context of the entire game, it serves as a reminder that while life is impermanent, the choices that we make in life, whether that's to forgive, to seek peace, or to let go, can leave a lasting impact. It's a tale of how even the darkest cycles can be broken. The ending of Majora's Mask masterfully combines gameplay and story to deliver a satisfying conclusion. A multi-phase fight that evolves in intensity, unless you use the Fierce Deity Mask like I did, because I wanted to finish the game, and yeah, I'm a pussy, whatever. From a story view, the ending resolves the central conflict by freeing Skull Kid from Majora's dark influence, thanks to the intervention of the four giants, while the quiet departure of Link as he continues his journey to find his friend adds a bittersweet note of closure, because we never know if he does. And before we wrap up this video, I want to talk about one more thing, and that's the side quests. Majora's Mask has my favorite set of side quests in a game ever. Like I mentioned before, each character has so much depth, and they all have a meaning and a role to play in this story. Unlike in other Zelda games, where side quests are not all the time, but often just kind of meaningless, the quests in Majora's Mask are interwoven with the main story. And it makes you feel like there's an actual reason to go do these things, not just to get good loot or to do a fetch quest, but also to understand what's going on in the story and how the people of this world are feeling. Remember when I was saying that there were two parts in the game that made me cry, and how I told you earlier that one of them was Zora 1 and the other one was a side quest? Yeah, the side quest I'm talking about is the Anju and Cafe side quest. Yes, a fucking side quest made me cry. This side quest really, just in full force, shows off the much more personal and human side of this world. Anju and Cafe's story begins with a tragedy. Cafe has been cursed and turned into a child by Skull Kid. He hides away from this world, including from his fiancée, Anju. Despite him going missing, Anju still prepares for the wedding in hopes that he will return. Her unwavering faith and determination is beautiful. It's moving, really, illustrating that a love can overcome even the toughest of circumstances. The quest requires Link to interact with multiple characters and navigate through time to help the couple. The player gets to witness every single moment of compassion and vulnerability and courage that these two show throughout their storyline, as we see Andrew's quiet resolve and Kafei's determination to get back his wedding mask. These moments are absolutely laced with tension and fentanyl and more tension and more fentanyl, as the impending apocalypse gives every interaction a bittersweet weight. In the final hours before the moon's collision, Andrew and Kafei meet in Andrew's room. In a beautiful moment, they exchange their wedding vows, preparing to face this horrifying end together. This moment really encapsulates the game's themes of love and death and how to deal with death, and the themes that I mentioned like 8 million times before, showing that even in the shadow of death, human connection and hope endure. And it's a scene that often brought people to tears, and god damn it if it didn't include me too. And yeah, the dude is still a kid, which is really weird, but the overall message, minus that little part, is great. It's wonderful. Majora's Mask is my favorite Zelda game of all time, and I truly believe that it will stay this way in my mind for the rest of my life. And it is my second favorite game of all time, next to Persona 5, which maybe one day we'll talk about that video. It's just too much work to think about right now. Jesus fucking Christ. To me, it stands out as the most unique and the most emotional entry in the Zelda series. It offers a dark, eerie, and deeply personal experience to the player. It challenges most of the conventional ways to tell a story in video games, and it does it so well. The way it focuses on time and its consequences, the overall complexity of grief is breathtaking. It provides players an experience, a narrative experience like no other in the entire series. Majora's Mask forces us to confront the inevitability of loss and death, but yet it also reminds us of the power of love and responsibility and hope, making each moment, each time skip, each going back in time feels so impactful and meaningful in a way very few other games manage to achieve. It's a game that doesn't just tell a story, but forces us to live in it, making every moment feel vital and honestly unforgettable. Majora's Mask doesn't just stand out in the Zelda franchise, but stands out in all games, to me at least. It transcends the traditional confines of gaming itself, especially gaming in that time, leaving a lasting impact on anyone who dares to experience that world. It's not just a game, it's an emotional journey. It's an emotional journey that defines the very essence of what makes The Legend of Zelda so special. I've been Damazos. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to eat your vegetables, and have a lovely day. Hey guys, it is currently almost 3 in the morning for me, and I'm recording this little ending segment here, and I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you made it all the way to the end, I'm assuming you enjoyed it. I want to make more videos that are more stuff that I'm just like, whatever I'm like randomly interested in, you know, like right now Zelda. Next time, who knows, maybe I was thinking about making a Dragon Ball video or a Persona video, or if, you know, more music videos, but on different types of music, you know, like I want to keep the music videos, but also still like transfer over to like different video essay topics, if that makes sense. And depending on whether this video does well or not will depend on whether or not I do that or not. So if you like the video, please give it a like, subscribe, comment, do whatever the fuck. It helps, and it tells me that you guys like it and that I should keep making this because I want to keep making this. But god damn it, did this take forever, and sorry about that, but I'm back and we've got another video. Yeah, and that's kind of, oh, one more thing. I'm gonna be streaming here on YouTube me playing all of the Zelda games. I'm going to be playing through every single one. Right now I'm playing through, as I'm editing this, I'm playing through Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask is next, so if you like this video and I'm live streaming right now, come pop in, say hi, tell me you watched the video, tell me what you thought. Well, you know, all that stuff. And yeah, that's all. See you guys in like a month, hopefully less. It might be more. School's gonna be is being a bitch right now, but we'll see. See you guys soon. Bye.